So for this video, me and my lovely wife Stacy from the channel The Chapter Conundrum,
Hey.
we're going to be going over the 2025 schedule for our Thrill, Chill, or Kill book club taking place on the Book Astronomer Discord.
So it's one book a month, and it's a thriller horror book.
And for this video, we're going to be going through January, February, all the way through December 2025, letting y'all know what books we picked for each month. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So our very first pick for January, we have Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. And what interested me about this book is that it has a very similar premise to an old Hitchcock movie, Strangers on a Train. And this trope has kind of been used a little bit, but it'll be interesting. For this book, essentially, like the title suggests, Kill for Me, Kill for You. It's about two women who meet up and they kind of have a similar experience of, I think, a guy that they both kind of dislike. And
I think it's more than dislike. I think something tragic happened in their past.
I know. Yeah. But anyway, the title, you can kind of gaze, Kill for Me, Kill for You. They're going to try to conspire with each other to off this dude and hopefully get away with it. But, you know, some things might arise because of that. But it's an old trope that's been used ever since Hitchcock did it in the 40s. But it'll be a lot of fun to get a modern take on it.
I also think this one is going to be very tense and high stakes because we have a third POV. And I believe from the synopsis of this, that opens with, like, their home being invaded.
So if this sounds at all interesting to you, join the Book Astronomer Discord. It'll be the first book we read in January.
And it shouldn't be boring based on that premise. So in the month of February, we're going to be reading Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. And this is a new release that drops in January sometime. So we'll wait till February to get to it. And I actually haven't looked at the synopsis of this, and I kind of don't want to. The reason we chose this is because we've both previously enjoyed Alice Feeney thrillers in the past.
We've liked different Alice Feeney books, though, which is interesting. I really liked Daisy Darker, and you liked
His and Hers.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if we agree or if we disagree on this book.
Yeah, but either way, we'll probably both at least like it.
Yeah, she's a thriller author that I'm excited to check more stuff out from.
Same. So in the month of March, we've chosen Puzzle House by Duncan Ralston. And the premise of this one is why we chose it. It's really exciting for me. So some of my favorite horror in the past has been set in an escape room, and this has a sort of a similar deal going on. So it basically opens with someone who passed away, and there's a crew gathered at this estate home for the reading of the will. And they essentially have to decide to either leave the house with nothing or participate in this series of puzzle rooms within the house in order to get the inheritance they're promised. And obviously, some shenanigans will ensue.
Yeah. Do you think this is more of a thriller or a horror book?
I think it's more of a horror, but I'm going to check Goodreads and see what the primary tag is. Yeah, it's primarily tagged as a horror.
Yes. Because Ian Robb Wright's book, which was also an escape room kind of deal, that was a horror book, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And for April, we're going to be checking out In There He Kept Her by Joshua Moling. And the summary of this book is pretty interesting. It says, when two teenagers break into a house on a remote lake in search of prescription drugs, what starts as a simple burglary turns into a nightmare for all involved. Emmett Burr has secrets he's been keeping in his basement for more than 2 decades, and he'll do anything to keep his past from being revealed. As he gets the upper hand on his tormentors, the lines blur between victim, abuser, and protector. Personal tragedy has sent former police officer Ben Packard back to the small Minnesota town of Sandy Lake in search of a fresh start. Now a sheriff's deputy, Packard is leading the investigation into the missing teens, motivated by a family connection. As clues dry up and time runs out to save them, Packard is forced to reveal his own secrets and dig deep to uncover the dark past of the place he now calls home. So very interesting.
Yeah, this is definitely giving me the same vibes as The Dry by Jane Harper, which we both enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to it for that reason. I mean, obviously very different setting, but
it should be interesting.
Yeah.
So our pick for May is going to be The Lies We Told by Camilla Way. And this one sounds really intriguing to me. The Goodreads summary is as follows. When Clara's boyfriend, Luke, disappears, everyone believes that he's left her, but Clara thinks she knows the truth. Recent evidence suggests that Luke had a stalker, and Clara worries that he's been kidnapped. Then Luke's older sister, Emily, who vanished 20 years ago, suddenly reappears. Emily wants to help Clara with her search for Luke, but she refuses to talk about what happened, even though it nearly destroyed her family when she vanished. And the deeper Clara digs into Luke's mysterious disappearance, the more convinced she is that the two incidents are connected.
Oh yeah, I feel like it would be pretty random to have siblings kidnapped if it wasn't connected.
Dun dun dun. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, should be a good time. I've heard good things about it from people who've read it. So our pick for June is Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane. And this is something that has been on both of our want to read lists for quite a while. So we figured it was going to be a good pick for Thrill Chiller Kill. The main reason that I'm interested in this is because I saw it on one of those lists that had like thrillers with multiple twists or good pacing or like that sort of type of thing. But why were you interested in this one?
Just the premise.
Okay, fair enough.
The premise is like a woman finds out that her husband was potentially a serial killer, and she has to kind of move away, and then she keeps getting these letters, and she has to kind of stay isolated in this Stillhouse Lake. And I'm sure, and it's also interesting that this is a series.
Yeah.
The first book in a series, so I don't really know how it's going to continue from here, but definitely interested to see how it starts out.
And then for the month of July, surprising absolutely no one who knows about this new release, we have chosen With a Vengeance by Riley Sager as our pick. And this releases, I think, mid-June. So plenty of time for people to get their hands on it before reading it in July. The Struggle will be holding off until July to start it.
I think it's actually, I looked on Goodreads, the release date is early July now.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
So you're not going to have to wait.
Oh boy, hopefully it doesn't get pushed back anymore. We may be rejigging some things.
No, I mean, early July is plenty of time to read it.
Okay.
But anyway, basically Riley Sager releases a new book every year.
Yeah.
So he's kind of been a tradition for Thrill Chiller Kill.
Yeah, he's one of my all-time favorite thriller authors.
And lately, a lot of his books I've really been enjoying. Middle of the Night, which we read last year, I actually gave 5 stars, and that's one of my favorites by him.
It's funny, like his most 2 recent ones, the only one left and Middle of the Night, haven't been my favorites. But the one before that, which nobody really loved, Jake and I both loved. So
yeah, he's been on a hot streak for me. He's been writing some good stuff. So hopefully, we know nothing about this book, by the way.
Yeah.
So
I mean, all I know is it's Riley Sager, and I'm going to read it.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
So most of these books we don't actually own physically, but for this next pick for August, we actually have a copy. And that would be The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. And this one is supposed to be just a very weird book. I've heard she writes horror, but it's got some weird stuff in it.
I know it has a cat in it.
Yeah, we have this cover, which I got for like $1 at a used book sale, but this cover right here somewhere, it has the cat on it, and it's better. And it's one that I don't really know too much about it. It's blurred by Stephen King, which is kind of fun. It says, I haven't read anything this exciting since Gone Girl.
Well, I know some things about this, but I don't know that there are things that everyone's going to want to know, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, sometimes, nowadays I try not to even read the back of thrillers anymore or even horror books because it just gives too much away. It's like watching a movie trailer and then they just show you all the good parts.
I love how you say this as you've read out 2 synopsises. Or synopses.
Well, those synopsises aren't that bad. But sometimes, you get one and it's just like, well, why should I even read the book now? You told me everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to read this one because I'm excited and I've heard it's weird and good. And I think this has the potential to be one of my favorites.
Well, it wouldn't be Jake if it wasn't weird horror.
So the book we're reading for September, I'm also very excited about. It's called The Quiet Tenant by Clémence. That's like a French name, isn't it?
Clémence Michelin.
What she said. But anyway, this book sounds really exciting for me because it does have like a serial killer vibe to it, But the interesting part is that it's told in three perspectives. One, you're getting the serial killer, who obviously nobody knows he's a serial killer yet, but you're also getting the POV of his daughter, and also the daughter's mother and the husband's wife. She's dead for some reason. I don't think he killed her, but maybe, I don't know. But anyway, you're getting the POVs from the serial killer, his daughter, and then a random woman in town who's interested in dating him. So it'll be interesting to see how those POVs interact with each other, and I'm sure it'll get messy by the end.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I've heard good things about this from a few people who have read it, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. So for the month of October, we chose more of a classic horror, and I don't know, would you classify this as a slasher horror?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. I mean, I've only read part 1 of this, and this is an indie. It's called The Boatmore Butcher by Elle Stevenson, and if you don't know, this was originally, or part 1 of this, there's 3 parts, was originally published as The Goners, and Jake and I have both read part 1.
And it's very good,
Yeah.
very creepy, and funny story, you actually read this like when you lost power and you were reading it by candlelight.
Yeah, and so there's like a scene in the beginning of the book where there's like flickering lights in a tunnel and somebody's being like chased through this tunnel, and I'm reading it in like flickering candlelight. It was pretty atmospheric.
But like I said, we both really enjoyed The Goners, which was part 1, which was like 100 pages novella, and it was very good, very gripping, very gruesome. But now we're looking forward to getting the full story.
Yes. What happens next? We need to know. So in the month of November, we've chosen Never Saw Me Coming by Vera Kurian, and I am primarily interested in this because of the premise. So our main character in here is a psychopath, and she's part of a study that involves 7 psychopaths at some university, I think in DC maybe. And anyway, one of them turns up dead or murdered, and this is kind of like how things go from there. And obviously our main character has some thoughts and a plan.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right up my alley.
Definitely. I'm most curious to see kind of how these psychopaths are interacting with each other, I think.
Is this labeled more as a thriller than a horror?
I think it's a thriller, but let me look.
It sounds like it could be both.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thriller mystery. Yeah, it's not even labeled as horror. It's just psychological thriller. So
okay, well, I'm sure it sounds, well, I'm not sure it does sound good, but I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
And then for December, our final pick for Thrill, Chill, or Kill, end out the year in December, we have The Best Lies by David Ellis. And the reason that we picked this book is that we both enjoyed his previous book, which I don't remember the title. What is the title, sweetie?
We're going to look it up because I don't remember either.
But it was good. I gave it 4.5 stars. I don't remember what it's called, but I did like it.
Look closer.
Yeah, look what she said.
Yeah.
It was great. And yeah, you liked it too, right?
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars or 4.25, I think.
Yeah, it was maybe a slow burn, but like it was a lot of fun to get just to figure out what was going on. And by the end, it was very satisfying. And I'm looking forward to checking out this book. And again, we don't really know too much about it. Kind of like with Alice Feeney, like we're going to trust this author into, what's the phrase?
To being auto-buy? I don't know.
I don't know. We're just going to trust the author to tell us a really fun and engaging thriller.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what our pick is for December. All right, so those are our Thrill, Chill, or Kill book club picks for next year, 2025. And we're just going to quickly run down the list here. January, Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. February, Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney.
In March, we have Puzzle House by Duncan Ralston. And in April, we have And There He Kept Her by Joshua Moling.
And in May, we have The Lies We Told by Camilla Way. And in June, we have Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane.
In July, of course, if anyone was questioning, we have With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. And in August, we're going to plan to do The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward.
In September, we have The Quiet Tenant. Well, this is one you should have done.
Yeah, just say it and I'll say the author.
The Quiet Tenant by
Clémence Michelin.
Yes. And then in October, we're going to be doing The Biltmore Butcher by Elle Stevenson.
And then November is Never Saw Me Coming by Vera Kurian. And December is The Best Lies by David Ellis.
So hopefully you guys are excited. If you don't have to join the book club and read all of these books, you can kind of pick and choose whatever you want. And if you're interested, we have the Bookish Drummer Discord down below. And for all of these books next year, we're going to have channels open for discussion for these books. And it's always a lot of fun to get people's reactions to all of these books while we're reading it.
And we really appreciate that everyone who has done the book club so far has been very good about using spoiler tags where necessary.
Yes. And definitely let me know if you're interested, and then let me know what books you're going to plan on reading with us. Also, let me know if you've read any of these books yet. Some of these are kind of new releases, so I doubt it. But, you know, some of these are older. So let us know what you thought about these books.
Let us know which one you're the most excited for and which one you think Jake and I will enjoy the most.
Yeah, my prediction is that my favorite is going to be The Quiet Tenant.
Okay.
Because that's the one I'm the most excited about, and it definitely feels like a Jake book.
I am torn whether my favorite is going to be Puzzle House with a Vengeance or Never Saw Me Coming.
Also, the Biltmore Butcher that's a very safe pick because we already know we like the Goners a lot.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of great options here. I'm excited for all of these.
Same.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to both me and my wife's channel. I'll link both of us down. Well, I don't have to link my own channel, but I'll link your channel down below.
If they're watching this, they're already on your channel, dear.
Doi. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I also have my Patreon link down below. You can support me there for as little as $1 a month. And we have our Amazon wish list where you can buy me a book. Not that I need them, but I'll take them. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a fantastic day.